Good evening. Vice President Sara Duterte refutes claims that she was involved in Oplan Tokhang and the Davao Death Squad, dismissing it as a mere news script. Duterte made the pronouncement in response to a claim made by self-confessed DDS gunman and retired police officer Arturo Lacañas, who said that the brutal Oplan Tokhang was a brainchild of then-Mayor Duterte.
Ayon sa isang nagpakilalang testigo, may kinalaman umano ako sa Oplan Tokhang, sa Davao Death Squad, at sa mga insidente ng pagpatay o extrajudicial killing sa Davao. Bago ang script na ito, sa mga taon na nagsilbi ako bilang Vice Mayor at Mayor ng Davao City, ni minsan ay hindi naugnay ang aking pangalan sa isyong ito.
According to Duterte, her name was being involved in the issue just so she could be included as one of the accused in the International Criminal Court's investigation into her father, former President Rodrigo Duterte's bloody campaign against illegal drugs.
Bigla na lang nagkaroon ng testigo laban sa akin nang mahalal ako na Vice President. At kabilang na nga ako ngayon sa mga akusado sa International Criminal Court. Maliban sa tiyempo, malinaw na sadyang pinilit lang na maidugtong ang pangalan ko sa isyong ito para ako maging akusado sa ICC.
The Vice President reiterated that the ICC investigation undermines the country's sovereignty and own justice system. She also adds that those who are suspecting her should file a case against her in the Philippine courts.
Ang pagpupumilit ng ICC na pakialaman ang ating hudikatura ay panghihimasok sa ating soberanya. Paglapasangan ito sa dignidad ng mga Pilipino at sa karangalan ng Pilipinas. Wala na itong debate sa testigo at mga tao na nakapalikod sa kanya. Mag-file kayo ng kasong murder laban sa akin dito sa Pilipinas.
Senator Imee Marcos asks her brother, President Bongbong Marcos, to hold his ground and end the uproar surrounding the People's Initiative to amend the 1987 Constitution. In a television interview, the senator advises her brother to stand firm and put an end to PI. Marcos adds that the president says there is a need to study and consult legal luminaries for the issue. She also pointed out that while the Commission on Elections has said that the signatures acquired from some Filipinos have no expiry date, these should be set aside as these were illegally and unconstitutionally obtained. Earlier this week, President Bongbong Marcos acknowledged that the PI has been politicized, but he remains firm in his position that the economic provisions of the 1987 Constitution must be changed. Party leaders in the House of Representatives refused to fan the flame amid a call for President Bongbong Marcos to resign. Senior Deputy Speaker Aurelio Gonzalez Jr. says that the President's cousin, House Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, instructed them to work as a team and help temper political tensions in the country. Rizal 1st District Representative Jack Duavit, meanwhile, noted that Davao City Mayor Baste Duterte has already given another statement on his demand for Marcos to resign, apparently referring to Mayor Duterte's apology as relayed by Senator Imee Marcos. National Unity Party Secretary General and Bataan 2nd District Representative Albert Garces likewise mentioned this instruction from Romualdez, adding that they would prefer to focus on legislative work instead. These series of statements came after Mayor Baste Duterte called on President Marcos to resign during the Davao City rally on January 28, which led people to believe that the cracks within the Unity alliance of the Dutertes and Marcos have turned into a full-blown rift. The Land Transportation and Franchising Regulatory Board says all unconsolidated public utility vehicles may operate until April 30, 2024, as long as they are registered with the Land Transportation Office. In a memorandum circular released by the agency, LTFRB Chairman Teofilo Guadis III announced that a provisional authority will be provided to unconsolidated PUVs to allow them to operate until April 30 as long as they are registered with the LTO and has a valid personal passenger accident insurance coverage. The memorandum also states that it allows the confirmation of units of individual operators until April 30, 2024. The said units are allowed to ply the route as PUV only within the said period. LTFRB released the memorandum after President Bongbong Marcos once again extended the deadline for the consolidation of PUVs until April 30, 2024. The new memorandum also sets guidelines for filing applications for consolidation, reiterating that all applications shall comply with the documentary requirements and procedures of the previous MC 2023-050. Under the memo, consolidation is allowed on existing rationalized routes with no consolidated entity as of December 31, 2023, under the routes covered by the local public transport route plan. The new memorandum further states that individual members may withdraw from a cooperative without the need for endorsement from the Office of Transport Cooperatives as long as their application is still pending with the LTFRB or its regional franchising and regulatory office, and no certificate of public convenience has been issued at the time of a withdrawal. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas projects inflation to ease further by 2.8% in January. In a statement, the BSP says that the January 2024 inflation will likely settle within the range of 2.8% to 3.6%. The central bank adds that the primary sources of the upward price pressures are the increase in prices of some agricultural items, petroleum, electricity, and water rates, annual adjustment in sin taxes, and the depreciation of the peso, while the lower prices of vegetables and sugar contribute to the downward price pressures. BSP Governor Eli Remolona Jr. says that the central bank could possibly start its easing episode this year, although it may be too early to cut the policy rate in the first semester. BSP adds that it is deemed necessary to keep monetary policy settings sufficiently tight until a sustained downtrend in inflation becomes evident, adding that they will continue to monitor developments that could affect the outlook of inflation and growth. Here's the latest roundup of today's top stories. Vice President Sara Duterte denies claims she was involved in Oplan Tokhang killings. Senator Imee Marcos asks her brother, President Bongbong Marcos, to hold his ground and end the uproar surrounding the People's Initiative to amend the 1987 Constitution. And LPG prices up by 10 pesos and 45 centavos per 11 kilogram tank this February. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.